"Mommy, Mommy," my son said to me. He was 6 years old. "Somebody was mean to me today." I said, "Oh?" You know, he's exceptionally easy to get along with, my son, when he was 6 years old. "What was he doing?" He would walk by and he pushed me. And he was calling me names, and he was being mean to me today, all day today. And yesterday he was mean to me too. And I was like, you know, mother's heart was like, wow, that's terrible. But then I'm thinking in my mind, this has never happened before. How should we deal with this? We're at a Christian camp, a family camp, where everybody's come to be on holidays, and we're just enjoying ourselves. There's just provision for the children, provision for the adults. It's a beautiful scene. It's an atmosphere of happiness, campfires. You know, we had our pink cream soda Slurpees on the beach. And my son is getting bullied by a kid. And so I gave him some instruction about what he thinks he might try the next day, but he comes afterwards in tears. "Mommy, he was mean again today." And so we were walking along together, and we see he says, "Oh, there he is." And he was by himself on the playground. There was a boy there. My son was 6. He was a little bit older, but a child, all by himself on the playground. And I said, "He looks lonely." And my son looked at him, and he looked at me. He says, "I wonder if he needs someone to play with him." And I said, "Maybe." So he walked over there and said, "Do you want to play?" And the kid was kind of awkward, and my son got on the other end of the teeter-totter, and they kind of awkwardly teeter-tottered for a while, and then they went over to the climbing thing. But within several minutes, the kid just walked away. It was like he didn't know how to handle someone being kind to him, especially after he had been unkind to my son. And as a mom, I was just standing there, tears coming down my face, just to see that my son was not taking offense in his heart. You know, he knew he was well loved. He was a confident, gentle boy, and he was able to show love to someone who needed to be loved. And that brings us to our verse today. It says here that you would receive, this is Colossians 1:9, that you would receive the perfect knowledge of God's pleasure over your lives. The perfect knowledge. Okay, that's a lot of knowledge. That's a complete revelation of God's pleasure over your life. You know, do we have, to what level do we understand God's pleasure over our lives? You know, like today I was just thinking, do I feel God's pleasure over my life today? What if we're in the middle of a conflict with somebody? Do we know God's pleasure then? You know, if we do, or if we don't, we can step into an understanding. If we would believe what the Word says, if we would believe God when He speaks to us, oh man, like we're to come as a child. Jesus said, "Come as a child." You know, unless you can come as a child, you can't even enter the kingdom. So come as a child, because a child, my son knew that he was well loved. He knew there was pleasure over his life. And then he could act without taking offense. He could act in love, with assurance. What does it say will happen if we have this perfect knowledge of God's pleasure over our life? It says right here, making you reservoirs of every kind of wisdom and spiritual understanding. So we will have wisdom. We won't get caught up in fear. If we know God is so pleased with me today, He is pleased with your life. If you made a mistake, He's pleased with you. If you did the right thing, He's pleased with you. If things are going wrong and you don't know why, His pleasure is all over you. And you can rest in that, knowing that He is giving you access to wisdom. So ask Him today, Father, give me wisdom. I need incredible wisdom. I need spiritual understanding. What does it say? Every kind of wisdom and spiritual understanding. What's happening in the Spirit here? How do I pray? Send your angels to deliver me today. Send your angels to make a way where there is no way, where I don't understand which way to go today. I'm caught up in a situation today. One of my children is caught up in a situation today. Release your wisdom and your spiritual understanding so we know how to move forward. Not caught up. You know, Daniel, he got thrown into prison. It wasn't because he made a mistake. You know, so if we can just remove whether we've done something right or wrong away, then we can consider that God is pleased with us and not take offense, not get caught up in there's just so many kinds of mixed up thinking. They're all based in anxiety. Bless you today. Just know that, here we go, that I just pray that you would receive the perfect knowledge of God's pleasure over your life, making you a reservoir of every kind of wisdom and spiritual understanding. May God provide what you need today, whether it's easy or whether it's difficult, whether you have to let go and consider someone else, like my son did, not taking offense, considering others before yourself, or maybe you need to stand up and consider yourself. Be blessed. Let your day be amazing, and let joy rise in your heart. Thanks for listening. See you next time.